Hello, Nerathians. This is Vass.
Howdy, I'm Luna, and today we're going to be doing something a little different. There's probably going to be a lot of editing, just because I don't want this video to be sad, or too sad, but I'm creating this video in the memory of my best friend, Vasciagio. For those of you who knew him, you know exactly how amazing he was, how wonderful he was. He was an amazing artist, an amazing architect, and an amazing friend. And I, as part of my own healing, and hopefully for the healing of others, decided to make a video of as many of his works on Everquest II that I could possibly find. With that being said, it was very tricky. He had many alts, like so many alts. Finding all the alts was a challenge in and of itself. Then finding which ones had houses, and one of the biggest things is a lot of these works might not have been 100% done by him. The ones that I do know were 100% done by him, I'll mention, but most of these works were created by him, Sappheiros, and Demora. They were DVC, Demora, Vasciagio, and Sappheiros, an inseparable team that created so much beauty here on EverQuest II. And so I'm sorry that I can't tell you who did what in every house, but Vass and Sappheiros and Demora's work all go hand in hand, and I think I just want to show it. This video is going to be very long. I'm not creating this to gain views or followers or whatnot on YouTube, and so I don't care about making it 8 minutes or whatever to get the most max, all that. No, this is going to be a very long video, and it's simply just going to be about him and his wonderful artwork that he created. So sit back, relax, enjoy. I am not going to be speaking much. I will talk when a house actor talks, or there's a book that needs to be read, and I will probably start each house out with a little blurb, as much as I know about the house anyways. And but other than that, it's mostly just going to be music and just looking at the wonderful things that him and Demora and Sappheiros were able to create. Also, there's a 100% chance I have not been able to categorize all his works. He was I think the word is prolific artist. He has so many works. It would be impossible to find them all, but this is the main ones that I could find, and I hope you enjoy. I'm starting this video today with what I believe is part of his castle series. He had, with all his alts, some of his alts required castles to live in, and so he was trying to create castles for different alts and things like that in the Aetherneer enclaves. So every alt would have a castle in an Aetherneer enclave. That was one of his projects that he's working on. That was one of the things about Vass. He was such a, I think the word is prolific that I'm looking for, maybe. He had so many ideas. And so a lot of these works that we're going to be looking at today are unfinished, but including this one. This one, like I said, I believe it's part of his castle series, and I believe this was meant to be the castle for his main, Vasciagio, who is a Kira bard, troubadour, but he usually ran around in an Othnier illusion form. That was so if you ever saw that little Othnier running around, that was Vass. Vas's castles that he was working on, I believe he was only working on by himself. Demora and Sarex may have helped a little, and for the majority, I believe it was him. This house is located on the Majdu server. It is owned by Vasciagio. It is Vasciagio. It is an Ethanir enclave on the Kinos side. It is not published. So, yeah, without further ado, let's go take a look. Again, this one is not anywhere near finished, but it's still interesting to see the process that Vass is going through. He would oftentimes just fill a house with items. That was his process. So items he knew he was going to use, he would put in there and see how they fit. That way it would help him with his item count too when we go over later. This next house, I don't think I know anything about. This is one I don't recognize, at least from the front door. I might recognize it deeper in. I have no idea if Sarex or Demora helped at all on this house, or if it was just Vass, or if Vass didn't even help on this house. I honestly have no clue. There hopefully is a book farther in or something that might tell a little bit about the house, but like I said before, Sarex, Demora, and Vass's work is so intertwined that you can't really show one without showing the other. So if this is one of their works, then yay, getting a little extra art today. But as far as the house's information, it is on the Majdu server. It is a Huamane retreat owned by Vasciagio and are on the Kino side. Okay, so let's go. There is a book. It says, "At last we meet," by Vasciagio. Well, that helps to prove that at least Vasciagio had some hand in this. Whilst on a lengthy harvesting trip, I heard of a peaceful group mostly forgotten, yet well hidden. Bearish race spread out in the stone-burnt highlands and sundered frontier. Rumors drifted on the thin air of these floating islands from many other races. Each rumor increases my feline curiosity of these exotic creatures of the floating lands. A group that seemed to give me more questions than answers seemed to be the erudites of Peniel. A second group that I encountered seemed to be more open with telling me secrets and mysteries of the humane. This group encouraged me to build skills in crafting and assured me that it will be a grand guide in the future. This group, the Kara, were part of my own family, my tribe. One bright day I caught a glimpse of a small and round fuzzy creature whilst bending over to collect a shiny that sparkled in the early day's sun. I slowly raised my head and looked at what appeared to be a bear. I didn't feel threatened, but I feel I might have frightened the creature because it stepped backwards, still staring into my eyes, and was enveloped into the dense foliage of the Tuxulia forest. Many days passed with much adventure, trying to protect tents, supplies, and myself from the strange creatures in these lands was beginning to wear on my tired soul. Plants, insects, dragons, and even creatures that mimicked the forest itself could not stand in my way. My harvesting trip had suddenly spurred into a quest to find the mysterious humane. With a snap here and a rustle there, I knew that I was being followed. With my quiver lighter than ever, I moved one hand to the base of my axe and the other grasped my dagger firmly. Suddenly, a giggle rustled the leaves. Yes, a giggle. I am being mocked, I thought to myself. Mocked and stalked. "Who's there?" I shouted, scaring many birds from the treetops. "Come out and face me." Yet another hidden giggle. I peered into the bushes around me, but saw nothing. I reached for my flute, followed by a selected hymn of Shroud. A giggle. Another longer giggle. I began to move around toward the edges of the clearing, thinking, I am the one to do the stalking, not some forest laughter. "I can still see you," a youthful voice giggled. A false note broke my shroud as I determined the origin of the voice. "Don't be afraid, little one. I will not do you harm." Little Cooley slowly advanced from the bushes. "I am not afraid. It appears you were the one that was afraid." Over a small campfire in the clearing, a friendship was solidified. I gathered more information than harvests in the following days. The humane did exist, but were forced into hiding to secure their future. I offered my assistance, but quickly discovered that outsiders were seldom welcomed into the village of which young Cooley spoke. My quest broadened. I began to journey through the lands to gain favor with the humane. Several daunting tasks aided in improving relations with the villagers. Eventually, I was given a leaf with magical properties from Jin2, a spirit of the humane. Residue from this leaf began to make me feel spirited myself. My eyes grew heavy and fell closed. I managed to reopen them quickly, only to discover I was no longer on the same ground as before. Suddenly, cheers and thunderous footsteps accompanied many small black and white furred bears running directly toward me. I had discovered a vast valley village of humane. A beautiful stone sculpted tiger overlooked the village. I knew at this point that a bond between the Kara and the humane was inevitable. I visited the village daily. I laughed and played with the young ones and learned many skills and vital traits from the elders. I was now a welcome member of the village. I felt more at ease in the village of the humane than in the company of my own people, but kept a strong bond with my own. I was given a great gift in a wonderful ceremony midsummer by the villagers, an area of land of which to build a homestead. I was very honored and vowed that day to protect the humane at all costs. Construction on my house was severely delayed by myself until I completed construction that could make good on my promise to protect the village. I scouted areas surrounding the village and made plans based on the areas I felt to be the most vulnerable to attack. I built a fort in south and a tower in the north. I returned to Kira Isle to teach others of the need of the humane and gathered many followers that volunteered to support the outpost that I had created to aid protection to the humane. I spent many weeks away from my new family, but managed to return as often as I could. I was very well liked by many of the young humane, and upon each return I would grab the attention of the children with storylines of my adventures away from the village that were told through marionettes and various troubadour tunes. At this point, I invited you to take a tour. Follow the trail ahead to the hut on the left where I put on many shows for the villagers. Please enjoy a cooling dip in the holy waters of the Tiger's Gaze Pond. Play a chess game or two with a young villager if you like. Beware of Scalebeak, he is not fully trained yet. Once you are ready to visit another area, I invite you to the sundial between the path and pond. This will take you to the South Sands encampment, the North Pinnacle Tower, or visit my home, River End Jutaku, built upon the land graciously given to me by my humane family. Note, areas might take a bit to fully load, lots of details, max item limit. Could have used a lot more. Don't forget to vote. Also feel free to comment by in-game mail. I usually pick it up every couple of days. Okay, so yeah, don't send in-game mail to Vasciagio's account as he is no longer able to log in. I am able to vote, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. Warehouse graciously gifted me a chrono on this tune, my Majdual account, as this is usually just a throwaway tune and didn't have any way to do any of that stuff, so he helped me out that way. So thank you, Warehouse. Anyways, let's enjoy. It sounds like it was mostly done by Vass, but I wouldn't be surprised if Sarex and Demora helped. So here we go. Protecting the Huamane by Vasciagio. This fortress has been supplied to the Huamane as protection from invaders. All Kira are welcome to use the training facilities to hone your battle readiness. Also, for those interested in joining the Guard, please submit your request to Vasciagio. Scheduling and duties are all voluntary, and remember that the Huamane are strong and proud. However, any aid is welcome. Pinnacle Tower by Vasciagio. This tower was designed as a lookout to aid in the protection of the Huamain from sentinel attacks. Please feel free to explore. Also, recent attacks have left some damage. If you would like to aid in repairs or volunteer as a lookout guardian, please inform Vasciagio. Keep out. Vasciagio was here. Private property. Vandals will be hung. River End Jutaka by Vasciagio. Follow the river to the home that was built by Vasciagio on land given to him by the Huamain. There is a lot of detail in this home, so it might take a moment to fully load. Please feel free to explore other areas and remember to vote. Hope you enjoy my home and have fun. this next house is another house I don't recognize. I have a feeling that his lava storm houses were going to be some sort of connected thing, much like the Aetherneer enclaves were for the castles, and then he also has an Everfrost connection thing that is mostly finished from what I understand, and that will I'll be showing that here soon. But this house doesn't look finished, so it's not published. There's stuff laying around. I'm not really sure what the story is behind it, so we'll go and explore it together. Again, I don't know who worked on it, if it was Vass, Cerex, Demora, or whatever. But this is a lava storm. What's it called? A Lava Storm Winter Retreat owned by Vasciagio on the Majdual server. And, oh, it's got quite a few items for not being finished, so let's go check it out. There's some books here by somebody named Adelina. I don't know if that's a Vass alt or not, but we'll take a look at them. So Bloody Bones Part 1 by Adelina. By E.C. Callie. Okay, this I think is somebody... I don't think this is Vass. So I'm going to go ahead and just leave it up and you can read it. You can pause the video and read it if you'd like. And Bloody Bones Part 2. So this was a great house, in that you could see his process. He would fill the house with everything that he thought he could use. He was so good at item count and being able to stay within that, but still make things that looked full and finished. He could use, like you saw over here, he would use things like all this stuff that has lots of detail already built into it, and it's just a single piece, and so you could make something look very, very detailed without using a lot of items. And it's one of the things I love about his work. This house I had the privilege of being shown by Vasciagio himself, and unfortunately it's been a while and I don't remember everything, or what its purpose was for. I do know some things. That, first of all, Cerex built, I think it was Cerex, built the barn in this one. A lot of the gardens and stuff like that were done by Demora. There is a shrine, a memorial to one of his pet dogs that had passed away. The last time I was in here, I wasn't able to rate, so I could see it's on the DVC right there. It's on the leaderboards, so it's easy to go visit, but in case you don't want to use the leaderboards, it is owned by Vasciagio on the Majdual server. It is a Thurgoden Grand Hall on the Kinos side. Well, I guess it wouldn't be Kinos because it's Thurgoden. There you go. For those who don't know, this is what Bass's character looked like when he was not wearing his Othmir illusion. Wellington Rollins, Thoughts and Memories of Welly. His next house is yet another house that I had no idea about. I might recognize it again as we get farther on. Maybe there's a book. I once again don't know who all worked on it. I'm fairly certain at least Vass had a hand in this one because it's on his account, and it is called Vass's Retreat. So hopefully, but yes, I'm not sure if Sarex or Demora or anyone else helped him with the rest of it. Let's see. It is located on the module server. It is owned by Vasciagio. It is a Tenebros island, and it is not published. So was all the works that I could find that were owned by his main Vasciagio, and so now it's time to start on his many alts. This first house is owned by his alt Exona, that's Exona. She's an erudite wizard or sorceress, or I don't honestly remember, but this is part of his castle series, and this was also the last project that he was working on. He had been working on this for a while, streaming some of it, if you would like to check out his YouTube channel, and this is also unfinished, but it's very close to finished. It's almost done, so let's go enjoy. Yes, the waterfall is supposed to be going upward, because this tune is magical, and lots of magical things are here. Oh, I forgot to mention, this is part of his castle series, so this was only done by Vasciagio. is another house that I had the pleasure of being shown the house by Vass himself. This is also a house for Exona, his erudite that he had created. I believe this is meant to be her house. This is before he decided to make his castle series. I believe that Vass was the main one who worked on this. If Demora and Sarex helped, it was very little. It is an Arcane Academy owned by Exona on the Majdual server, and you can find it on the Kinos side. It is not published. Gnomish by Wheeler 5000. Sweat off those pounds with the sounds of gnoming to the 80s on this near the top of the line sweater cycle. Treadmill. Next up is what I believe is part of Vass's Everfrost series. So every tune had an Everfrost house. Some of the tunes he used the Everfrost houses to make. Well, here, let me start from the beginning. He created an apartment complex, like if in Kinos. So a Kinosian apartment complex with lots of Kinosian amenities and things like that. Some of his Everfrost houses went towards those amenities, and some of his tunes got to have actual rooms and apartments in the apartment complex. And it's all linked together with housing portals and things like that. And I do believe that this is part of it. I mostly think that because this is an Everfrost house. Again, the whole apartment project that he was working on, I believe, was done by him, though I would not be surprised if Sarex and Demora helped in places. And as far as I know, it was mostly finished. Looks like I can rate this house, so it must be on the leaderboards. This is called the Kinos Royal Bank. It is an Everfrost portal, and it is owned by his tune Tadwick. Tadwick. And it's, of course, on the Majdual server, Kinos side. So let's get into it. So the housing portals to the different various parts of the Everfrost are located within each of the houses. So as you can see, this will take us to Viril's Everfrost summer portal, and but we'll be exploring. I'm going in order of alts names instead of houses, because I feel like I'm going to forget something if I go by through all the portals. So we will eventually get to Viril's Everfrost summer home, if that's one that's open. He did have a few that they're non-accessible, so. Mr. Stingity Coinbag says, "Are you here for the Halfling cottage loan?" Guard Gerald says, "I'm sorry, citizen. You must be accompanied by a member of the Kinos Guard to the East Vaults." And Ida wanna be here says, "Welcome. I am prepared to assist you with all your financial needs today." To see how this is spelled. I don't want to be here. Betty Bankstore says, "Hi there, would you like to take a look at your account?" And Seraphim Softail says, "Welcome to Kinos Royal Bank. Yes, I can assist you with your account." That is one of his alts, I believe. Unfortunately, Vass's Everfrost summer home was inaccessible at the time of this recording. Misty de Jour says, "Hi there, making a deposit today?" Zion Idolum says, "Good afternoon. Kinos Royal is always glad to assist you." Kale Strongback says, "I'll take you to your vault, but I don't want any funny business." And Cato Steinbreaker, he says, "Goo-ah, my feet hurt. Over here, come on, I don't have all day." Since his tune, Tadwick had to give up his Everfrost home for the Kinosian Bank, or the Kinos Bank. I'm going to go out on a limb and just assume that this is Tadwick's apartment. It is called Tadwick's Manor, also on the leaderboards. Tadwick's Manor, it's 5 Irlosi Lane in Kinos. I, again, don't know who worked on it. Most definitely Vass, because Tadwick was one of his alts. It is on the module server on the Kinos side. And, yeah. Let's take a look. house is probably my favorite house. It is part of the apartment series that I spoke of, and but it's for his Rotanga, Teensy, and so it's the portal to it is in the main apartment building, which we'll get to eventually. Um, and it's just a hole in the wall, like where a mouse would live, or a rat, or a Rotanga. So that's oh, this is on the leaderboards. It's called Teensy's Hole in the Wall. It's an Everfrost portal on the Kino side on the module server. This house was yet again another house I didn't know about. But thankfully I found it because it is a portal house and it was instrumental in helping me find a lot of the houses of Vasciagio. So without further ado, it is on the leaderboards and it is called Blade Keep. It is a residence of the Blades owned by Tinsy, Tinsy. It is on the Kino side and is on the module server. Alright, this is in an Everfrost summer home. However, I don't know if it's actually part of the apartment series. I do know that he showcased this on a deco raid many years ago. Because I remember seeing it then. It is on the leaderboards. If you'd like to come and give it a like. It is called the University of Necromancy. It is an Everfrost portal on the Kino side on the Maj Duel server. Let's take a look. Dead's List by Vixter. I think it's supposed to be like the Dean's List. Head Necromancer Master, Vixter von Bloodcloud. University instructors are B Corpse, Spellwork 101, Atoxin Potion, Alchemy 102, Prekin Thornbush, Herbology 103, and Summon Bone Pile, Creature Conjuring 104. Students, to include current, deceased, and just not quite ready to die. Ekibod Crane, Brasserus Bloodletter, Dark Knight, Misty Aura, Bloody Ritual, and Rotten Corpse. Varys Bloodletter says, "Is it true, Rodden? Miss Corpse is your mom? That's what Bloody said." Rodden Corpse says, "No, Miss Corpse is not my mom. She is just a distant cousin." Hate note by Varys. Poor Ichabod. You mumble when you write. Hello, annoying. You smell of flowers. Yuck. Your head is too big. I can't learn things with your head in my view. You still have fresh blood on your pants, in case you didn't know. Would you like to go to the monster ball with me? Slashes and slaps Varys. Homework by Rodden. Answers is D's. All of 'em is D's. Dear Miss B. Corpse, you better give me good grades or I kills you's whole families. Good days to use Rodden Corpse. Sneaky's Tricks Plans by Bloody. Number 1, I puts his Kithicor's peppers in the apples for the teachers. Number 2, I sticks an urchins from the seas from the last field trips to Enchanty's Landis in the seats of Misties. Number 3, I stole greases from the janitor for steps. 4, makes Bigger's flames in the ovens for nice darks Burns's baked cockatrices sandwiches. Number 5, I switches the ingredients in the jars in the alchemies class. Number 6, need to learns the reflection spellses. Number 7, makes one of the small boneses in conjuring's room from a giant's dragons. Note from Inquisitor Doctor by excuse Dark from class this day. Dark is ill. He will not be in education room for a long time. Inquisitor Doctor. Misty Aura says, "Oh, that really hurt. Who did it? I'm telling Miss Corpse." Oh, there's the urchin. Misty Aura's spellbook. Spells: Soul Rot, Pandemic, Necromantic Reconstruction, Undead Night, Blood Coil, Magi's Shielding, Chains of Torment, Arcane Augur, Unholy Covenant, Howl of the Damned. So many more spells to learn. Next season will be hard. Notes on Pop Quiz. Ichabod Crane. Number 1, Vampire Bats. Piercing damage to enemy over time decreases defenses of enemy. 2, how to remember bats pierce a lot. Grasping Bone. Number 2, it's cool. It uses real bones. Stuns enemy. Number 3, Life Tap. I got this one. It is easy. You tap life from enemy. Number 4, Dooming Darkness. Damages enemy over time, reduces movement speed, and interrupts enemy. Darkness slows their feet and hurts them. Number 5, Necromantic Reconstruction. Transfers health from the necromancer to the pet. Feed pet some of your skin. Oh boy. Grimberry bush. The grimberry bush can be found in grotto areas as well as marshlands. The moors of Yakesha is a large supplier of this useful species. Berries from this bush can be used for weakness spells and poisons. The berries have been known to be used in baking as well. The infamous Grimberry pie is one recipe that uses the berries from this bush. However, unlike other pies, this pie will sadden those who eat it. This pie is often used to lure small children that are unaware of the consequences of eating this dessert. Warning: goblins are immune to grimberries and often hoard them for ages. The berries that are not eaten in a timely manner will harden. These hardened berries are often used as a form of thrown weapon by the goblins. If you can acquire these hardened berries from the goblins or allow them to age over 1,000 years, then there are other useful traits for these berries. Thieves can roll the hardened berries into the path of a foe to throw them off balance before an attack. Petrification and stone skin spells use the hardened berries of the grimberry bush, and gnomes have discovered that soaking the berries in an explosive liquid until the berries absorb the liquid and harden, which make great ranged weapons. Swiftwind's shrubbery. A small bush often found near druid rings. It is said that the power of the druid circle is absorbed through the root system. The leaves can be boiled down to create many varieties of travel potions. The roots themselves can be squeezed of a tar-like liquid often used in dimension travel or in shape-shifting spells or potions. Siren's Bush. The siren's bush is often found in wet, marshy areas. It is said that it echoes the songs of sirens to lure in prey. Once the prey is enticed by the song of the siren's bush, the victim can't resist. When prey is within reach, the usually dormant vines of the bush react, tangling and wrapping its prey. The more the prey struggles, the tighter the grip of the siren's bush. Glowing tips of the bush begin to stun the victim. Then the bush begins to choke its victim until they can no longer breathe. Once the victim is dead, the sticky tips of the siren's bush begin to secrete a liquid that slowly dissolves the victim, creating a puddle that then can be absorbed for nourishment. A thoroughly cleansed siren's bush can then be boiled down to create crippling potions and other movement impairment needs. Ink made from the siren's bush can be used to scribe root and snare spells. Oh wow, he made a book for every single plant. Okay. Creeping Darkness Vine. The creeping darkness vine hides in the shadows within caverns, requiring no sunlight and very little water. They can grow large and usually group together. These vines are very strong and cannot be cut. Only an arcane flame can dislodge them. As the vines grow over time, they can seal off passages or tunnels. Shisar tablets depict the leaves of these vines being used in rituals. These fragmented tablets are unclear how the leaves were used. It is known that creeping darkness vines are an ingredient in the spells Grasping Bones and Dooming Darkness. Luminous root flower. The luminous root flower is often found in cave systems. It withers in sunlight very quickly, which makes it difficult to preserve. It must be kept in darkness at all times. While flame and other sources of light seem to have no effect on the flower, sunlight can kill it. Studies are currently being formulated by the Freeblood Floral Society. Uses of this flower are unknown at this time. The only spell currently requiring this flower is a water-breathing spell. Swamp Muckpod. A Thalumbra native plant being studied by gnomes for possible battery usage, it has a glow that might provide upgrades to mana batteries. It is also, in theory, a possible power source for wands and staves. This plant does not seem to provide a poison or disease quality at this time. Researchers are still looking into utilizing this plant for its luminous properties, possibly for ink, inscribing, or even vision spells. The swamp muckpod is found in deep caves near swampy areas in abundance. It grows fast and quite large. Bloodbush. This shrub has a vampiric nature. The bloodbush cannot survive in water alone. It must consume the blood of the living to survive. It is known to lure small animals that are looking for a place to evade predators. The bloodbush has sticky limbs that act as netting similar to that of spider silk. Creation, summoning, and life-draining spells often use this type of plant. While difficult to trim, it is recommended to soak the plant in water to weaken it enough to process. Wild flame flower. The wild flame flower is very beautiful, but can be quite deadly in the right hands. Safe to the touch, many decorators use this plant in homes and gardens. One should take precautions to not place the flame flower near small children or animals unless ... The wild flame flower has a very sour tasting juice within its stems. This juice acts very much like a spice and can be easily dried and crushed into a powder. It has a burning sensation in small doses, much stronger than a common pepper. In larger quantities, it can become reactive within the body, causing a spontaneous combustion. Wizards were the first to discover the uses of this plant in spells. Necromancers, however, have applied the use of the wild flame flower in many of their spells recently. Young tholumbral mushroom. Recently discovered species of mushroom of which little is known. The mushroom has tentacles and that seem to give off light. It is speculated that these light-emitting tentacles do not appear to be harmful. It is speculated that these light-emitting tentacles do not appear to be harmful. The base of this mushroom is quite thick and very tough to break through. It has an almost stone-like stalk that can break a common harvester's axe. Extra credit this term will be given to those that develop uses for this species. Deaths involved are strictly the sole responsibility and the achievement of the student. Giant desert aloe. The giant desert aloe is native to dry, hot climates, usually found in deserts but can sometimes grow in rocky cliff areas. This plant will choke out neighboring plants and encroach on their water supply. The aroma of this plant is enticingly sweet. Parched travelers often make the fatal mistake of chopping off the leaves of this plant for its sweet, thick, nourishing nectar. While the plant can be quite fulfilling to the thirst-driven traveler, its nectar has a hallucinogenic property. Theory has it that the madmen of Rho became quite fond of this plant. It is suspected that consuming its addictive goodness ultimately drove them insane. Potions derived from the sweet juice of the giant desert aloe are often used to disorient or befuddle a foe. Rot flower. Not necessarily a flower and more of a weed, this plant can actually uproot and travel like a tumbleweed in the wind. When facing a waterway, the plant has the ability to take on air in its branches, allowing it float. The rot flower can also shift its weight to guide it to its next destination. Although the plant appears to be harmless, stray from its path to avoid possible harm. The leaves of this plant are quite prickly and can leave barbs on flesh, which in turn administer a poison that is almost acidic. The poison of the rot flower will rot away both skin and bone in a matter of days. The barbs of the rot flower have some potential uses. Embedding the barbs into weapons such as whips or thrown items is quite common. Extracting the poison for use in various poison-based spells is another use for the rot flower. The age of the plant affects the size of the barbs and the potency of the poison. For example, a barb the thickness of a platinum coin could kill a small rodent, while a barb that is the width of the coin could kill a dwarf. Pox fern. Growing in vast numbers in forested areas such as Necklatos Forest, this fern can reach a maximum height of 10 feet. The pox fern is not harmful to the touch, but can be fatal if eaten. The pox fern is a favorite of assassins. The poison of this plant is most commonly applied to slashing or piercing weapons to weaken the enemy. While the common name is pox fern, you might hear it mentioned in the occasion dark alley as assassin's stem. Boneweed. A rarity in plants, the boneweed grows from the brittle, crumbling bones of the unburied fallen. Fields of grand battles are the best areas to find this species of weed. It is often used in resurrection spells or potions. It is very brittle to the touch and often crumbles to dust in the hands of the living. It is recommended that you use fresh flayed skin gloves while handling this weed. Alternatively, you could have an undead construct gather, transport, and assist in the potion creation process. This house is his free blood Vixter's house. Vixter is spelled Vyxtor. Vixter is also the dean of the Necromancer College, or Necromancer University. I believe I've been in this house before, and I've forgotten, I think, a past couple of ones, but this is a house that the last one to the university, I am unsure of if he did on his own or if it was a DBC effort. But if you would like to visit the Freeblood house, it is called Grimwood Estates. It is on the leaderboards. It is a Freeblood portal owned by Vixter. Like I said, Vyxtor is on the Kino side. well, or wherever the Free Blood portal is. I couldn't access it through the Kinos side. I had to go through Team C's portal house, but it's on the Maj Duel server. A loose wall sconce reveals a secret room. Cooking with gnome blood. Pasta with gnome blood infused sauce. Ingredient list: 1 packaged pasta noodles, choice or fresh made pasta from scratch, 1 tablespoon butter, 1 tablespoon salt, no garlic, 1 blood drained gnome, fresher the better, save excess blood for dinner cocktail. Prepare pasta in large pot. Prepare pot of fresh gnome blood to boil. Saute mushrooms with salt and butter. Add mushrooms to boiled blood. Decrease heat and simmer for 10 minutes or until lightly thickened. Adjust cooking time depending on age of gnome. Blood thickness varies. Place pasta on serving plates and top with gnome blood sauce. Garnish with nightshade. No garlic! This is another Everfrost summer home. It is part of the Kinos Apartments project. It's on the leaderboards. I like it. It is called the Kinos Royal Apartments Pool. It's an Everfrost portal owned by Cerulena, which is Ceruleana. It's on the Kinos side, Maj Dual server. Gate to Kinos Business District from Kinos Royal to remain closed at all times. Okay, this is the main hub for the Kinos Royal Apartments. So this would be the first one that you would go into. All the others are connected in some way through portals and things in different houses. Again, I don't know who worked on it. I do believe this was a DVC effort, but the majority of it was done by Vass. And it's on the leaderboards. You can visit it. It's called the Royal Kinos Apartments. It's an Everfrost portal owned by Faebella, which is spelled Faebella, and it's on the Maj Dual server on the Kinos side. Leola says, yes, this is the place that I can finally call home. The Royal Kinosian Apartments. Looking for a calm and relaxing place to hang your sword? Perhaps a nice place to settle down and make a written record of those spells you have researched. You have discovered just the right place. We are Beast Lord and Magician pet friendly. We have apartment homes for all sizes from gnome to barbarian. Each home is different from the last with various floor plans. The Royal Kinos Apartments is just moments from shopping, educational facilities, and banking needs. Many of your fine Many of our fine homes give spectacular views of the Kinos Castle, and the Queen herself has stopped in a few times to enjoy our calm and relaxing pool. Please stop in and speak with our property manager for more details of our community. Out of character. This home is the main hub for my linked Everfrost Homes project. I have linked the Everfrost homes of all my alts to this one in some way. You might not be able to get to all of the homes from this particular house, but going into a house that has a portal here will take you to another portal of an alternate character. Please enjoy your stay or visit to the Royal Kinos apartments, and feel free to visit the other linked homes. Be advised, I'm still working on some of the homes in this series, and I have many alts. Once completed, I will have a minimum of 13 Everfrost homes linked. I'm not sure if you ever finished it. Honeydew list. Make more cupcakes for Shanette, since Demora ate them all. Tour homes during the Deco Raid. Work in garden and gather flowers for Febrith. Repair broken windows thanks to Shanette, and remember to grind moonlight enchantments. I believe this is from the Kinos Royal Apartments. It is a pub. I don't believe I've ever actually seen this, but knowing Bass, it's going to be amazing. He always did do well with pubs. Again, I don't know if it was just him or if DBC helped. And for some of the information, it's on the leaderboards. And it's called Half Pint's Half Pint Pub. It's an Everfrost portal owned by Herschel. That's spelled it's spelled HERSHAEL. It is on the Kino side on the Majdual server. Half Pint says, "Welcome to my pub. No rowdy business, or I will call the Kinos guards." Oh, yep. So that confirms that this is part of the Kinos Royal Apartment link. Alpiton Fuzzbucket says, "Alpiton cheats, never." And Gargezage, Gargezage Flycatcher says, "Cheater, I saw you peek. You were not supposed to be looking when you threw the dart that time." Beatrice Tinytoe says, "I think they are getting better at singing." Whisper Flutterwing says, "You would think someone with heavy pockets would come in eventually." Oleander Pumpkin Smasher says, smashing pumpkins sure is a lot more fun than making pumpkin soup. Mariel Anbeater says, all right, gang, everything has got to be just perfect. Get to work. Tommy Baker says, my best batch of muffins ever. Wishy Washy Williams says, wash, 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 does it ever stop? I wish. And Barry Pickens says, sigh, doesn't he ever shut up? All right, here it is, the Beehive. This is probably one of Vass's most well-known works. Um, it's pretty amazing. It's part of his the Kinos apartments. You can get to it through. We haven't been to it yet, but Viriel's Everfrost home, and in Viriel's home, it's a beehive. And then you enter through, and you're in the beehive. So we'll show that in a second. Again, pretty sure it was mostly him. Might have been a little bit of DVC, and it's on the leaderboards. It's called Hive Haven. It's an Everfrost portal. It is owned by his tune AB2, ABEYTU on the Module side, or Module server, Kino side.
Always look up in my houses. Alright, this house is a Fright Manor. I looked around a little bit before I recorded. This is my first time seeing this house. I don't know how much of this is actually Vass's work. It doesn't look exactly like Vass's work, but some of it does. So I think this might have been a DVC project. If there's a book, if the book says this was not done by Vass, then I will delete this from the list. But just in case, let's go check it out. It is it's called Drayden's Fright Manor, Drayden. That's the tune that also owns this house. It is on the Kino side module server, and it is not published.
Once again, another house I don't recognize. It is on the leaderboards. It's a Gorwin house. There's a chance that it might be part of the apartments, but I don't think it is. It's Jacob's Vacation Villa. Possibly, most likely something done by DBC. It's a Gorwin Heights Magical Manor, which you can get to at Gorwin. Okay. And yeah, so it's on the Module server.
Welcome, lots to explore and enjoy. To the southeast, you will find Treehouse Lake. To the southwest, and up the path to the villa. Well, we're finally here. I've been pronouncing the name wrong this whole time. I believe it's pronounced viral. Vyrelle. But this is part of the Everfrost portal. The Kinosian Royal Apartments. This one, there was a sewer drain in the main hub of the apartments, and then we'll go up this ladder, and it'll be up there. So that's where you get into this house. I believe there was also a portal into it through a sewer grate in another house. This is also the house, I believe, where we're going to find the portal to the beehive. Same with all the other apartments. I don't know who all worked on it, if it was all three or just Vass, but the house, this one is not published. So it's called Viral's Everfrost Summer Home on the Freeport side and on the Maj Dual server. Okay, so remember, this is on the Freeport side. Most of the others were on the Kino side. I'm just now getting to his evil truths. So here we go. University of Necromancy. Okay, I might leave this in. That was an accident. I accidentally touched Vixter's portal in the sewers, and that brings you to the Necromancy. Okay, so this is part of it. That is so cool.
Ah, there it is. That's the entrance to the beehive. And it's the entrance to the pub down here. Oh, and Tadwick's. That's the one that I thought that was a great. Another entry into the Kinos Royal Apartments. As you can see, it's linked to the main hub at Fabella's. I do also believe that this house is linked to Teensy's Hole in the Wall, so we should be able to find that here. This is, again, don't know who worked on it exactly, but I do know Vass had a major hand in it, at least. It is on the leaderboards, and it's called Poxy's Apartment. It is on the Freeport side, and it is an Everfrost Portal module server. Oh, there it is. Teensy's Everfrost summer home. Right there in the hole in the wall. This house is one of his most amazing works that he ever built. He actually did most of this work while streaming live on YouTube, which I will link his channel that has all his videos saved in the description, okay? So you could actually go back and watch him build this, which is pretty amazing. But, okay. It is a theme park called Six Flags Over Norath. It's based off of real life Six Flags Over Texas theme parks. He loved theme parks. This is actually unfinished, but not the first house. The first house is finished, because he couldn't fit all 6 of the cities in this one house with the item count. So he had 2 houses, but he never finished the second one. But I'll still be showing and looking at that. It's on the leaderboards. You'll like it. It is called Six Flags Over Norath. It's a Tenebrous portal owned by Zash, which is Zasche. It is on the Freeport side module server. And here we go. So if you jump off and try to jump onto this, you fall to your death, and you end up, there's a square that he put because he knew that's where you end up inside the park. So I'll show you where the square is. I'm not going to jump off. Ticketmaster Matilda Moneybag says, if you want a ticket, I need your NID, Norathian ID. Come on. It is bad enough that I'm stuck in this booth all day with a high elf. Now I have to wait for you? And Ticketmaster Glorious Days says, welcome to Six Flags Over Norath. It is a glorious day, and I hope you enjoy your visit. Lion Tamer Chuck Omeet says, Chuck Omeet, please, just once, all of Norath will be coming to see us today. Rope Walker Ivania Landing says, I can do this. I know I can. Oh, shiny. Animal trainer Seraphin Furcomer says, great job, Fuzzy. You didn't eat it this time. Bitsy Knottail says, someone helps me. My tails is a stucks again. Vanessa the Metsalot says, never bleh again bleh. Martha Lightfoot says, Peter, you get down here this instant or I will turn your Durgle Gibble around. Turn our Durgle Gibble around and take you back to the Shire. Peter Lightfoot says, thanks, Mr. See, Mom, I told you not to tie it to my belt. Oh my gosh. Cheek Tiki Bird Burner says, yes, we have only the freshest Volrich. Plus, they are cage freeze. Gorwin Chrono Loop operator Sislick Spike Spine says, no, you have to be at least that tall to ride without gnomish stilts. Gouda Debris says, I likes my souvenirs hates. It's so cool. Where's the cheese wheels again? This doesn't look like a cheese wheels. And Speakles McCheese says, yous look so silly in that souvenirs that's hates. Oh, they're wearing, okay, I see, they're wearing souvenir hats. Maitre d' Verdant Scaleback says, do you have a reservation? Lurden says, I think the fish is great. I don't know what your problem is with the fish. Zeki says, you really don't see the problems with me eating food with scales? When you jump off, you end up on this square over here. Elaine Goodfellow says, Jess, don't forget to fasten your belt once we get on. And Jessica Goodfellow says, but Mom, I don't think they have belts on this ride. And Pirate Pretend Jol E. Rogers says, hurry up, get in line, we ain't got all day. This ride will be slowing to a halt soon enough. Zemugu Ubuyuash says, shouts, woo, just like Torrent River.
So I have lost my chat window. As you can hear, there's still noises like you from the chat, but I can't find it. I've tried F10. I've tried hitting the slash key or the enter key. Nothing is making it pop back up. I don't know what to do, but I want to continue to record. We're just not going to be able to get any of the dialogue. That if the actors are saying anything, that would pop up in my chat. So, alright, we'll continue.
The Frosty Stein menu. You wouldn't be finding grubs here, so for fixins, go. Okay, I'm not. Y'all could read this.
this is the other house this is the other house from Six Flags Over Norath. This is the Neariac section. He had so many ideas for the Neariac section, including building a go-kart track in the. So this is, what is this? This is the palace, the Neariac Palace. So it has that cavern. Started building a go-kart track. He never was able to finish this, but you can also watch him decorate most of this on his channel, I do believe. So let's get into it. Oh yes, and you can get into this house by going through the Six Flags Over Norath.
Okay, it's time for the last item, which is not a house. It's just a singular thing that he built. Um, I'm on the Skyfire server. This is my main tune, Luna Rosa. But this is a house that Kian actually created. And it's a Jumanji house, and so she was modeling it after the movie and the newer movies and the board game. Um, anyway, so in the newer movies, it has a helicopter, and Vass came in, I do believe, with Demora's help, maybe, and helped Kian to build a helicopter, and they, because of the scene in the movie where it's like on its side, they built the helicopter and then they were going to turn it onto its side using the layout editor, but no matter what they did, because of the way the pieces that they used, they could not get it to turn on its side. So then I went in and copied exactly what they had for pieces and turned them on their side all manually, and that's how we built the helicopter. But then after I did that, we didn't want to lose the original piece that Vass had built, and so that's what I'm going to show you, is the original. And just so you could see what I mean by turning it on its side, here's the one that I did, copying exactly what they had, but turning it on the side manually. Alright, that's it. That's as many of his works that I could find. There are, who knows how many more out there. There's all the swaps that he participated in, so those would be owned by various people. There's all the stuff that would be on Demora's alts, and all the stuff that would be on Sarex's alts, and just who knows where. Everywhere that he's had a hand in a project, it would be impossible, I believe, to find them all. So at least we have these 24 that we can look back on, and they're in various stages of completion, so you could see how his brain worked and how he created, and it was wonderful. And I'm really gonna miss him. I'm really gonna miss him. But we have this documentation of him and his legacy and what he left behind for us to enjoy for years to come. So thank you all for joining me on this very long trek. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. And we'll be back to my regular videos